Audie Murphy served overseas throughout World War II. He became the most decorated soldier in American history. He followed up his military service with a successful career on the big screen, starring in a number of films, including one about his own exploits. The following are some facts you might not have known about him. 1. Rejected by the U.S. Navy and Marine Corps. Following the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, Murphy tried to join the U.S. Marine Corps, Navy, and Army. However, he was denied by all three for being underweight and underage. With the help of his sister, he falsified documents to make himself appear older than he was. He tried once again to enlist in the U.S. Army, and this time was accepted. 2. Audie. Murphy hated his name. Murphy hated his first name growing up, and often went by his middle name, Leon. It had been given to him by one of his sisters, who had no idea of its meaning in Latin, lion. Only when he joined the Army did Murphy begin to appreciate his first name. In the service, Leon was considered a country name, which led him to go by Audie and Murph for the remainder of his life. 3. Single-handedly holding off a company of German troops. In February 1943, Audie Murphy was sent to the Mediterranean, being transferred to the European theater. In January 1945, he was stationed in the Colmar Pocket with his platoon before being moved to Holzwihr. There they encountered a German counterattack. Murphy was made commander of a company. Despite being injured, he put the well-being of his men over his own. After the Germans set a tank destroyer ablaze, Murphy ordered his men to retreat to the woods. Alone with just his M1 carbine and a radio to direct artillery fire, he mounted the armored vehicle and began firing its .50 caliber machine gun at the enemy troops. He did this for an hour, inflicting 50 casualties. Murphy himself suffered yet another injury to one of his legs. Despite being wounded, he returned to his men and led a full-man charge against the Germans. 4. The most decorated soldier in U.S. history. Audie Murphy is the most decorated soldier in American history. Along with the Medal of Honor, he received, among other awards, the Silver Star with Bronze Oak Leaf Cluster, the Bronze Star with V device, the Distinguished Service Cross, the French Croix de Guerre with Silver Star, and the French Legion of Honor, Grade of Chevalier, Knight. And that's only scratching the surface of what he received. 5. Audie Murphy struggled with PTSD. Murphy suffered from PTSD as a result of his World War II service. When he returned home, he struggled with insomnia and depression and needed a solution. He was prescribed a strong sedative and unknowingly became addicted to it. When he realized the grip it had on him, he locked himself in a motel room without any pills and spent a week detoxing. Murphy subsequently became an advocate for mental health. He spoke about his own experiences and pushed the U.S. government to conduct research into the toll combat has on the human brain. 6. Wanting to make a movie about Desmond Doss. There was once a time Audie Murphy wanted to make a film about another Medal of Honor recipient, Desmond Doss. Awarded the decoration for his actions at Hacksaw Ridge during the Battle of Okinawa, Doss risked his life to treat his injured comrades, even though it meant exposing himself to unrelenting enemy fire. His efforts saved the lives of 75 men. Casablanca producer Hal B. Wallace tried to use Murphy to convince Doss to sell his story, but Doss didn't consider himself a hero. It wasn't until the release of Hacksaw Ridge in 2016 that his bravery made it to the big screen. 7. To Hell and Back. It's rare someone gets a movie made about them, let alone that they get to star in it. Audie Murphy is one of the few who did, portraying himself in 1955's To Hell and Back. To Hell and Back covers Murphy's service during World War II, and it starred the likes of Jack Kelly, Marshall Thompson, Charles Drake, Greg Palmer, and Paul Picerni. 8. Audie Murphy is buried at Arlington National Cemetery. While traveling to a business deal on May 28, 1971, Murphy was killed when the private plane he was in crashed into the side of a mountain. He was granted a plot in Arlington National Cemetery, where he was buried with full military honors. Murphy's gravestone quickly became a high-traffic area and is the second most visited at Arlington, after that of JFK.